open book. I'm here to let's move some stuff forward. Let's make some things happen, make
I,
magic happen.
I love it. Lorri, so great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out for the program today.
Thank you.
So let's begin our journey with this. Speaking of calamities, we talked a little bit about how the world is right now in relations with America and Canada. But 6 years ago, this pandemic shook the whole globe and it changed so many things. How did you get through that era yourself? And how has it changed the way that you look and view the world and live today?
Oh, yeah. So I come from a different aspect. So I come from two worlds. So when the pandemic hit, it was there's a financial aspect and then there's a health aspect. So I've been a real estate broker for many years, 26 years. And in my career, what we've done is we buy and sell houses. But in 2010, I had a near-death experience while I was owned a brokerage and doing real estate. And then my career seemed to morph or niche me into selling stigmatized properties where like like deaths happened, unexpected deaths, violent deaths. So I didn't focus on selling the product of those houses. I more tried to focus on the victims of those houses. So I just got into selling stigmatized properties where there was biohazard materials in there. So we had to wear booties, we had to have face masks, we had to have disinfectant. So when COVID came in, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to have disinfectant. Well, I was already on the ground running. Like I already had the booties, I had the mask, I had what we call preempt. It's a very strong, you put it in a spray bottle for seniors and it eats all the biohazard material. So as soon as COVID hit, I packaged up all my bottles. I think I did 1,000. And I put on Facebook, who needs disinfectant? And on my birthday, I was all by myself. And I'm like, I'm going to spend it with the world. So I delivered disinfectant all over Edmonton and the surrounding area in 100 kilometers. And people were like, who is this weirdo dropping off disinfectant? So COVID for me was an opportunity to bring people together and not be so divisive.
So let's get into what you do on a daily basis right now in 2026. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day in a school. And one of the kids in the back of the room is like, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you synthesize what you do into something digestible for their brains?
Young people have very small brains. I would tell my young class that we are all human beings, and no matter what color your skin, or where you come from, or where you live, or how you live, or who your parents are, whether you have a mom and a mom, or a dad and a dad, or a mom and a dad, we are all the same human being because we were all created equally. We are not all treated equally, but we were all born equally and made the same way. So what I do for a living is I love all the people of the world, and when they're having trouble, whether it's selling a house or if some bad things happened, then I go in and I fix the crisis and the sadness, and I transition them into happiness and peace, and I try to do the best I can. I'm like a fairy godmother, except I don't have a wand. I just do the best I can with what I have, but I help people who are in crisis move out of crisis and sadness and calamity, and I move them into a little bit more calm. That's what I
So,
do.
what did you want to be when you were that age? When you were young, what was your dream job?
I was going to be a policeman.
Okay, I was too. I watched Chips when I was a kid. I was
Yeah,
going to
me
be
too. Starsky
Poncherelli.
and Hutch.
I was going to be Poncherelli's sidekick. I mean, all that sunshine and that fun. Are you kidding me?
Whoo, sexy. That's no, I have a family of policemen, so that is where I thought my life would take me. Unfortunately, I have a heart arrhythmia, heart condition, and it's called a supraventricular tachycardia, and it prevents me from military, police serving. It prevents me from serving that way. So I serve the best way I can with what I have, and this is how I serve.
So, what were you born and raised in Edmonton?
Yeah, born and raised in Edmonton
Okay.
and moved around the whole province of Alberta. So I born and raised in Edmonton, then I moved my career to a northern town like Athabasca where you had to do all the farming and you had to learn everything about commercial and normal upbringing. And then I moved to central Alberta where I had to learn all about more agricultural and a whole way of life. So I've been all over the province, which gave me the opportunity to kind of referral network all across Canada. So I've had a good I've been blessed in a real estate career, and now it's just time to transition out of that and not retire. I just take what I know in my real estate career and based on my experience and what has happened to me, I just use my career as a tool to help people with what they're doing in their world. But I also used to be a judicial clerk, so I use my law background to kind of fix problems because you have to have a big resource bucket to fix problems because you're walking into a whole different variety of issues.
So, who's been your hero? Who's been an inspirational force that's allowed you to evolve in your life to this point?
Oh my gosh, that is probably that's like the one of the best interview questions I've ever had. My biggest hero. Um, I'm gonna go, I know this sounds crazy, but I when I look back at my life and I see what I'm doing, I look at people like Oprah Winfrey. Like, I'm not an Oprah Winfrey. But you know what? There is a part of me that is an Oprah Winfrey,
Yep.
insofar as she started from nothing. She was nothing. And then she grew and grew and grew, and she believed in herself and she grew to that thing. But there's so many, it's hard for me as a woman being in a man's world. My hero, like now, is even like crazy as it sounds, it's like a Grant Cardone. I look at them. I look at all those people that have started with hardness and have come out and looked at all this stuff. But I guess my motivator, my biggest hero motivator, I would have to say would be my son. I I do life by showing and living and not by telling, meaning I want him to be a functioning adult. He's over 30, he's an incredible human being, but I want to be a role model, not just for my son, but for everybody. But my son is watching me, and every step of the way, even in my hardness, even in my challenges, even in my lowest of days, you got to pick up those bootstraps and you got to go on because you got two little peepers staring at you, watching how you're dealing with adversity. So, my hero to push me forward, I probably will have to say is my son.
So, I'm very interested in your lineage here. You're a near-death experience authority. Talk to me a little bit about how you got that title. How did this happen?
So, because I was in real estate for so long, and real estate is a factual career. It's mathematical, it's sold comparables, it's data driven. There is no metaphysical about it. There's no mystical about it. And so I was born and raised Catholic, which gave me a foundation. I'm not religious insofar as I don't read the Bible. So unfortunate, I'm sorry, I don't. But I was never really spiritual. I came from a very data-driven life. And of course, we all wanted to believe in heaven. So here I am doing a real estate career. I have one of my SVTs. I go to the hospital, just like a normal everyday occurrence. Nothing was fancy about it. But as I'm in my SVT, what normally happens is my husband at the time, we always drove me. We never took an ambulance. I was too cheap. I could get there faster. I was in full control, no control issues here. But this episode was different. Like I've had over 130 episodes. This was not new. This was not shocking. It was a nuisance. So this episode was very different. It started like a gasping. Normally I could feel it kind of coming on like an attack. This one, it caught me by surprise. I couldn't catch my breath. I gasped. And when I was going to the hospital, I knew I wasn't coming back to my house. I didn't know that that meant death or dying. I didn't know that. I just didn't want my husband to. idolize my ugly pajamas. So I rolled them up and I hid them. I knew that I didn't want to have the morgue guy look at my hairy legs, so I shaved him. I didn't want the undertaker, the guy at the funeral home, because I don't wear a lot of makeup and I didn't want to be caked with makeup in my casket. So here I am putting on makeup to show them what my face would look like. But it didn't dawn on me in my brain that that meant I wasn't coming home. I don't know why I didn't connect the dots with that. So I get to the hospital, everything's falling apart. I ended up not being here. So what had happened, the difference between everybody, a lot of people have had near-death experiences. The only uniqueness is mine was captured on tape. Mine was captured on arrhythmia. It doesn't mean that mine is better or worse than anybody else's. It doesn't mean anybody else's is better or worse. It just means mine was captured with all the doctors in the room in fascination. But now they were scared that they kind of screwed up, so they didn't want to talk about it. So now they kind of pushed it under the shelf. But the nurses came to me and said, "You're going to have trouble. Here's some books. You better start reading it because it was like 30, they were trying to resuscitate me. And it took quite a while, like minutes and minutes. They couldn't figure it out. And in those minutes, wherever I went, I still can access that. So I've come back with a unique anomalies that physiological after effects that are normal that happen when the body dies. So we have to appreciate our body is what I call a magical machine. And when our magical machine shuts down and has no brain waves, no heart, no nothing, and then we have to reboot again, we reboot in a different way. We kick that software back up and I'm a totally different person. So my marriage that I had pre near death was not the marriage that I had post near death. The career I had pre, post, my life is totally different. So everything left. Everything was
Wow.
totally different.
So, was there a comfort when you were gone, when you were in that near death, that flatline realm? I always hear that there's this unbelievable level of release and comfort.
Oh, there is no human word to describe that peace. So one of the things, my passion coming back here is I can't get my message out loud enough is when people are dying, when people are transitioning, we only have a body. Our body is our shell. That peace that you go to, that peace that you sit in is is like it's like unlike any imagine the best time of your life. Imagine the most your baby is coming out and you hold the baby for the very first time and in those few seconds the world is perfect no matter what's happening. You got to take that moment as beautiful as it is and you magnetize it by 10 billion. And it's your brain can't even compute that. It's like a safety pocket that you have never imagined. And that is one, the good news about that is I got to feel that pocket. The bad news about that pocket is when you come back, you just want to go back to that pocket. It doesn't mean you want to kill yourself. It just means it's such a beautiful place that I just dearly want to go back there. I don't want to die. Of course, I'd love to be here. I've got work to do. I've got a lot of things I got to get done. But I'm okay. If the good divine came down and said, "Lorri, today's the day we're closing your eyes," I'd be like, "Hey, let's go. I got a one-way ticket. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm good." It's that beautiful.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And I think that's one of the problems with people that get on drugs is they get this euphoric feeling and then they want it all the time, which is a different thing, obviously. I mean, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying from a physiological, psychological standpoint, there's a level of human beings that will always want to go back to that. Like, I mean, I know people that just totally love Christmas and they want to go back to that feeling because it's that childhood, that eternal warmth kind of a thing. But that's the,
But
yeah.
the difference with Christmas as opposed, so I understand. So when I say drug addiction, I don't have an addiction. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I've never done
Sure.
drugs. So I don't have that. So I can't empathize from that aspect or that realm, but I will empathize from if I had a drug, if I had a guarantee that I could take a pill and pop a pill and go to that level of bliss, I probably would be a drug addict. I
Yeah.
probably would because I probably would because it is sometimes this world is really hard and we would like to check out and not check out like not to be here, but we watch TV. We would like to run. We work out. We need an escape. And that area of where I went, I wish I sometimes I wish more people could experience it here on Earth because even now I can still access it a little bit insofar as some people will call it meditating. I don't know what meditating is because I've come from a data-driven world. I don't know. I can only give you what it is. So if you're sitting really quietly and you can just start to hear the floors creak, the heat come on, if you can hear everything so quietly and your brain is not thinking, it's kind of like that spot, but nowhere near as good. It's kind of like a sloppy second to what it's the best I can do to getting here. And that's how I constantly check out quite a bit in life, insofar as that's where I kind of go every 2 hours. I take a break and have to reset and say, okay, we just need to reset here because it's so bombarding. The TV, the words, the people, it's so bombarding.
So you come back, everything changes. Your relationships change, your outlook, your life, everything changes. Do you believe in some divine level of everything that's already written in this script that we're all under, that this was supposed to happen? You needed to have a reset, and that was the best way to communicate it to you?
I think, first of all, I think that we're all connected insofar. So we have each different religion. What I believe to know true from my experience is, first of all, there is a oneness between all of us. When one person cries, we are going to feel it, whether you call it an empath or not. Energetically, we all have the different vibrational levels. That's just how it is. We all are vibrational beings. So coming back when my vibration is spinning really high, it doesn't make me better or worse than anybody else. It's just I had trouble coming down to normal level vibrations. I would blow out light bulbs. Electricity around me is a problem. I just had a higher vibrational level that I didn't understand. So I do think coming back, was it a divine intervention that I was supposed to be? No, I think it was human error. Just like I think so are suicides and so are it's just we have human error. That there was an error made that night that put me on that path. It could have been anybody. I was a human error. I experienced it, and now I come back, and this is what I'm left with. So now I have to pick up the pieces and say, okay, my purpose. We have one divine source creator. I don't care what label you call it or him or her. It doesn't matter. We have a divine source that whatever created you created me. And our conditions of our life, our experiences, and where we came from are an experience on top of how we react in life. And I think we have so many human errors that people try to make sense of the human error and say, well, it was divine intervention and this is my lesson I'm learning. I don't look at it like lessons. I think we all have lessons, yes. I think that we all have patterns. Every time there is a pattern, life keeps giving us scenarios. And we are not, if something unfortunate or challenging happens in your life, you don't deserve it. It's just a challenge that happened to you. However, that is a lesson in that pocket, and you can learn from it so that challenge doesn't keep repeating in so many ways. So we want to eliminate some of the challenging lessons so we stop, we learn them, and we don't keep them.
So, what is it when the alarm clock goes off every day that gets you up to help people, to be you, to take care of your soul and your family, and just do everything at a level that you want it to be done at? What is that for you?
You know, it's so funny. I don't have an alarm clock. I go,
Okay.
if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to say, Lori, go to bed. Go to bed. I can't, I have so much bundled energy that I have to go. oh my God, I have to go to bed. My body needs to have sleep. What fuels me, the alarm doesn't, I don't even have an alarm clock. I have no electronics in my room. First of all, I don't sleep with electronics. That's the worst thing you can do. I don't have blue screen. I don't look at it at night. I watch a couple of podcasts for the news. I get my news on a daily basis within 3 minutes. I do not do a news download. I don't do it. I don't do it. I can hear what's going on. What's passioning for me is there's so many people out there right now that are so stuck and in so much pain that what happens when we get into so much pain, our brain goes into lockdown, and our brain is a functioning tool. And when our brain locks down, our body can't move forward. So I recognize brain lockdown really fast. Other people look at those people and say, wow, such a what a terrible guy he is. Well, his brain's in lockdown right now and he's not able to make decisions. So I have a very different global view, high picture view, looking down the scenario. I can cut through problems really super fast. That's what my near death brought me back to. So my passion is I do a 15-minute clarity audit. It's free. They click on my website and people just have to unlock just a little bit. So I'm like, what's the problem? And they're like, blah, 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 and they tell everything. And then as they're talking, I can hear the pattern. I can hear where the glitch is. I can hear where we blocked. And then we click, unlock that block, and they're like, oh, that makes sense. And now they can walk forward. That's that's my goal. That's my jam. And I'm trying to make people understand. So I do workshops and online, and I try to get these people to understand that intuition is not metaphysical or it's not mystical. I have a diagnostic intuition course where you understand, where does intuition come from? Why is it there? How does it work? How can I trust it? Because if we can trust our gut and we can trust our intuition, we can make good decisions. We make good decisions. We stop the challenges. We stop the challenging things that are coming to us. Our life gets a little bit easier. Are we still going to have to work? Yes. Is it going to be struggles? Sure, but not as bad. So I want to lighten the load for the struggle in the world. And God knows we need it right now.
Yeah,
We
we
need
need it
it.
big time. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run in the 18-year-old version of you, and you walk into the room where she's at your age now, and there's a film projector. You click play, and you got a 60-second highlight reel of the life you've lived so far. Would that young version of you believe that this is the life that's happened, that's been orchestrated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you have any advice?
Our orchestrated life, everything that I've done in my life to this date, judicial clerk, going on police ride-alongs, understanding, doing a death notification. When I say that my life is where I'm at today, my is because of human error, that is true. But if there was somebody who was going to be cultivated, who was the biggest, when I say atheist to heaven, I believed it was there, but I was a very high skeptical. If anybody was going to take the highest skeptical human being on earth to give this message, that would have been me. So everything in life has a rhythm, has a flow, has orchestration. It's everything. Everything that I've done in my past life to now, every tool I have in my bucket is what I was given from my life. So is everything orchestrated? It's orchestrated perfectly. Do I have control over where I'm at? Yes, in some things, but no in others. So we have a divine surrender to everything that's orchestrated in our life. Try not, my advice is this, very simple. Don't put a square peg in a round hole because you have no control over either size, not the square and not the round hole. So surrender to what is coming, enjoy it, ride the wave, and move with the flow. That's the best we can do in life with the tools that we were orchestratedly given up to this point in our life.
So, for everything that you've done in your life, evolved to and become at this point, what are you ultimately the proudest of or the happiest about?
My son,
Yeah.
my son, by far. I had my husband, my son's dad is a wonderful human being. strong, intelligent, funny, smart, caring, compassionate. I couldn't have asked for a better father for my son. And even though we're not together anymore, I support him. I still love him as as my son's father. And I am blessed that I was given the chance to carry a child healthy. And I was blessed that I still have a son that we have a respectful relationship today. He's healthy, he's functioning, he's a great human being. And my, it's not my accomplishment. It's not what I did. It's the blessing that I get to sit back and say, thank you for the beauty of the blessing of this child. And thank you for the union that we have to imagine that both my husband and I coming together created this incredible, magical human being. And for that union of it all, I'm still in awe. And I, I'm still blessed with that every day. And that is what the passion and energy that I move forward with every other human being that we come in contact with.
So at the end of the day, Lorri, everyone has a perception of you: family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, that works with you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm probably I'm probably one of the most I will put the energizer bunny to shame. I don't quit. I don't there's no such thing as quit. So I don't look at myself as success. I don't look at myself as a public figure. I don't look at myself as a voice box. I look at myself as my son's mom and as a one vibrational being sitting in all of oneness, and my purpose is to leave this energetic plane better than what I came to it.
Yeah.
So if I can imprint my energy on it where people can hear that they are a vibrational being and we can connect with the people that we lost so you don't feel sad and lonely, that is true. We do get to do that. I would like to be an inspiration of hope because if you lose hope, that's a very dark space to be. And I never want people to be in that hope, whether it's for food or money or job or family or relationships or just feeling lost. That's why I give my free 15-minute clarity call because I never want people to lose hope. I'm not a suicide crisis intervention line. I am just one little lowly human being that's just trying to instill a little bit of hope in some of the dark corners of the world.
So if anybody wants to reach out, they have questions, they want to hire you, any of the good business, where's the best place to go?
Just to my website, it's lorribrewer.com.
Okay.
And at the top or on there, you will always have, there's clarity. You don't even have to hire me. If you're bleak, you just go there and get a 15-minute clarity call. It doesn't cost anything. Some people don't have money. I have beautiful workshops that teach you how to grow your intuition so life becomes easier. I teach about spiritual vibration. I teach about grief, death, and dying, and where does the body go when the body is no longer here? Where does our energy go? What happens to it? There's so many questions people have. I just want to be a portal of some resource for as best as I can to help people get from crisis to clarity. And that's my nutshell. That's the end game for me is hope and crisis to clarity, and let's have some fun.
That's beautiful. Great essence. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I'll put all these links in the show notes. What a wonderful message. We need it so much. More light in this modern world will not do any harm at all. We all need it.
Nope.
So thank you so much for your story and time, Lorri. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, you bet.